Hey guys, so as you can see, I am able to use both hands because I got a tripod for my phone to basically just record some videos on. Many of you guys asked for me to reduce the motion because some of you guys were saying it was making you feel sick. I believe that this is probably going to be one of the best videos to start off with because as you can see, I have the Maglula AK and Galil magazine loader. And this is a video that works perfectly with this because I can actually show you how this works. So to start off, I would just go ahead and just say that this works with both the 7.62x39, 5.45x39, and 5.56x45 AK and Galil magazines. Now, depending on how much you can get this for, I want to answer a specific question. Is this really a necessary tool? You know, a lot of people are familiar with Maglula for their pistol magazine speed loader. And that is a extremely useful tool because a lot of times you're going to run into any number of double stack single feed magazines for your pistols that are extremely hard to load. But generally speaking, AK mags aren't that hard to load. And do you really even save any amount of time using one of these? Well, I actually did a test, just basically testing between loading a magazine with and without the tool. I did it with this ammunition just on the table, and I basically just took it and put rounds in, and then I did the exact same exercise, just, you know, not too fast, but just how you would probably normally load a magazine at home after going to the range or something. And I did that both times with, one time with this and one time just as you just saw. And what I found was actually loading it by hand without the tool was like a second faster. So not really a major difference. You know, with practice and with haste, you probably could see a difference. But generally speaking, if you're just sitting there loading magazines after you get home from the range or after you clean your guns or whatever, it's not really going to make a huge difference in your speed. Now, what it can make a difference, though, in two things: the amount of effort that it does to take to load a magazine, because this does make it a little less of a conscious effort to load a magazine. So I'll go ahead and show you how you put this on. So there is a locking tab in the back, and it locks in the front as well. So you would just take it and kind of lock it in the back, and then push down the front. You might have to play around with the lever to make sure it's not pushing down on a round like it is now, because that can make it harder to get this on. And what I found to do is hold on to the back, because eventually, if you don't hold on to the back, when you get to like the 29th, 30th round, this will try to pop off the back. So what I usually do is just kind of hold it where the bullets are facing up, finger on the back, and I basically just put a round in, work the lever. And so you can kind of see how this wasn't really the fastest way to load a magazine. And again, like I said, you probably could make some difference if you were trying to do this with haste. But as a general tool, what this really gives you is two major benefits if you need to use these. One is if you have the Tapco magazines. Tapco magazines are notoriously for their extremely stiff springs, and this does make a huge difference. I recently just got rid of all my Tapco magazines because I don't really care for them that much. They're all right, but what I found is that generally speaking, with my 74 Tapcos, I had a hard time getting it up to past the 29th round, and this tool, even with the tool, was really hard to do, but it did make a difference. And then also, secondly, this tool also is an unloader. Now that's a huge benefit, you know, for me with these current ammo prices because of the Russian ammo ban. I may not want to shoot this particular brand of ammunition. So if you have some magazines that you want to shoot your cheaper, crappier tool ammo versus your Ukrainian or your Barnaul ammo, what this allows you to do is it allows you to kind of work the lever. And it's a little bit finicky, and it's not the best, but if you can get it to work right, it is an unloader, and it's probably a lot easier to do that than it is to thumb rounds out like you normally would. And so what I found is that this loader does have some fitment issues. On the 7.62 magazines that I've used, works flawlessly. No issues. I don't have 5.56 Galil mags. I don't have a 5.56 Galil. But one issue, and the reason why I have this 45 round Bakelite out, is this thing really does not work on this. I guess it is the feed lip distance between the feed lips. This thing, it will lock on, but I can't get this lever to move because the distance between the feed lips is impeding the movement of this lever, because there's a big set of, I guess, tongues that push down. And if you notice, there is some lacquer and a little bit of, wear from the lacquer on the casings. I don't know how long this thing will last, because after all, you are popping this on to metal locking tabs and so it could eventually wear. I don't know what type of round life you can get through one of these, but I would say that if you really just want to have a little bit easier time, maybe loading a stiff magazine, or you like to unload magazines for some reason, or maybe even just shave off a little bit of time if you're really a fast magazine loader, or if you just kind of want to have a little bit of a less conscious effort when loading magazines, I would recommend getting one of these. They're kind of expensive for what they are. I mean, it's just a piece of plastic, but I think they're like 30 bucks online or something. I'd strongly recommend getting the pistol magazine loader that they make, if you get any magazine loader. But yeah, that's all I can really say. I also just want to go ahead, if you're done with the video, that's all you wanted to see was just this. I'm going to talk a little bit about the ammo ban, what I think, because with this current ammo price, if I were to put 30 rounds in one of these magazines, that's about $15 of ammunition, maybe more, in one magazine. And what I think is going to be the main issue forward is not availability. I don't think you're going to have availability issues with 5.45 by 39 or 7.62 by 39 especially, because we currently have maybe anywhere from about a year, based on how the Form 6s work, of more ammunition coming in. So there's going to be a ton more ammunition coming in. But what I think is going to be the main thing, though, is a lot of people don't realize that a lot of times people just hoard ammunition and they don't really shoot it. I mean, eventually it's just going to sit there, and you might sell it, you might get rid of it at some point. But if you have 5,000 rounds and you don't shoot it, what are you going to do with it if the price is way higher to sell it than you bought it? You're going to sell it. So eventually there's going to be a lot of ammo constantly coming in that will eventually stop in probably about a year, but there's still going to be people selling it. I mean, for example, if you look at 7.6, that stuff was banned almost a decade ago. Well, not really a decade ago, like 7-8 years ago, I guess. And that stuff is still constantly being sold. Well, before the announcement of the sanctions, it was like 350 shipped sometimes, if you found it right. So the 7.6 is still plentiful. There's still tons of cans of it sealed. And yet people are acting like it's going to be, ammunition is going to disappear overnight. No, this stuff is going to be around for a lot longer than you think. You'll probably see people selling tool ammo 10 years from now. It really just depends on how things go forward, I guess. If the price will go down a little bit, or if it'll probably stay at about 50 cents as like a good deal, by the way. I would not recommend paying 80 cents for this. People who do that are kind of nuts. 50 cents to 45 cents is probably going to be your best bet going forward for 5.45. I'm just going to go ahead and say that I'm not probably going to be shooting this stuff, because this stuff is that Ukrainian non-corrosive 69 grain stuff. It's actually really good. I saw a guy do a test on this stuff, by the way, and it is actually pretty good. It does similar to 7N6 and ballistic gel, and it has pretty good velocity and pretty good just groups and stuff. So this is pretty good ammo. I'm not going to shoot any more of it probably for a while. So that's just a little bit of my take on it. Don't panic. If you have, you know, like 2,000 rounds, just maybe shoot a little bit here and there. Don't burn through, you know, like 200 plus rounds in a range trip. Maybe shoot only 120 when you go out. Shoot something else. I've been, you know, shooting a little bit of 22 more recently because although 22 is pretty ridiculously priced, at least I can get it, and it's not all that expensive. So that's just my thoughts on the whole ammunition ban. I thought some people probably would want to know, since I'm so deep in 545 now that my channel has actually been pretty big on 545 so far. So yeah, just my thoughts on it. I'm not too worried. I am worried, obviously. You know, some people have been talking about potentially Romania importing ammunition. We'll see. Bulgaria could even. Who knows? If they really want money, they'll probably do anything. IWI or whatever it is, IMI that makes the ammunition, they might start making some because of how deep they are in 545 in terms of Galil aces. So we'll see what happens going forward. But I'm not too particularly worried about ammunition availability over 10 years or so. So if you guys like the video, go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Tell me how you feel about the new format. If you guys think I need to change anything, any recommendations, it's all well appreciated. So have a good one.